Hello and welcome to week 13 of the Monday Masterclasses. Not all of them will be on Mondays. And today's hot topic literally is, well, women's health, but I'm really focusing on perimenopause, menopause, hormones, basically. So without further ado, and again, if you have any questions, you can ask live at the end, or you can type in the chat box or type on Facebook and I'll answer you later. Or if you're watching this later on YouTube, you can type questions below and I promise I will get to you at some point when I notice that it's gone live on Facebook. So, different signs and symptoms of hormone imbalances. Mood swings, breast tenderness, heavy periods, anxiety, sleep disturbance, hot flushes, irregular bleeding, low libido. That pretty much covers a lot of the main ones. So if this is you or you know someone like this, then this webinar is certainly something to listen to, and there is going to be some actionable items immediately. And also, if you've tried everything, what to do as well. Now, my goal with these weekly webinars is to make sure that you basically keep going on with your resolutions, your health revolutions. You actually attain the goals that you set out to attain health-wise. And if you didn't set any, I hope to inspire you towards more self-health responsibility, because I truly believe that as you become more healthy, you will become more self-peace as well. So self-health, self-peace, they work hand in hand together. And the more at peace you are, the more likely you are to influence others around you to be more peaceful and more healthy and take better decisions. If you know nothing about me, I think this is all you need to know. I've written a book. I like speaking. I really love the idea of promoting peace around the world. And I have got a picture in the Guinness Book of Records. There you go. You can find out more about me on LinkedIn and also various websites that you can find, and also by scouring my YouTube channel. There you go. My quote of the year is, and first use it, it's no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. And if you've not watched any of my webinars, you're about to find out that you are adjusted to a profoundly sick society. And the chances are that if you have any of these problems, it's actually, well, you'll find out. Stay tuned. Because it's actually down to you to decide to get healthier, nothing else. That will be explained. What we will cover today is an overview, and I really do mean an overview, because female hormone cycle is really complicated. Literally, I'm just going to show you a picture just to show you how complicated it is of what's going on. And we're going to cover a little bit about an overview of menopause and perimenopause, what the difference is, what's the sort of conflict, well, not conflicts, the misunderstandings are, even though it's just a term, so it doesn't really matter. Symptoms of hormone imbalance, well, you've just seen those, but I'll go through more. What causes these imbalances, and is the menopause literally man-made? Now, I'm not saying that menopause isn't real. You're gonna, well, you know it's real. But I'm just saying that, yeah, has literally man, made it much worse? Why your brains are at risk, I might not go into that very much today, actually. I'll just hint at it. What to do about it, so menopause, hormone problems, brain problems, and that's also menopause, hormone problems at any age for women, PMS, etc. Then the two most effective herbs for treating symptoms that I have found, not according to me, according to feedback from my patients, female patients, obviously, some other supplements other than just the two, some good foods to eat, ideal foods, some dietary information as well, I'm going to go into, and also what to do if you've tried everything and what to do next. Okay, so first of all, over the course of the year, I'm going to be really going into a lot about the 7 health strategies that create optimal wellness and protection, whether this is for hormone health, brain health, gut health, whether it's joint health, repair of your joints, whatever it is. You've got to think right, talk right, drink right, eat right, move right, detox right, and sleep right to protect your body, brains, and bowels. And that's going to help you stay healthy no matter what that is. Now, I've boiled down the Magnificent 7, which is to just 3: functional movement, functional nutrition and functional thought. And what I mean by this is functional movement is basically movement that you have to do your daily tasks or to be a human. So you should be able to climb a tree, for instance. You should be able to squat down. You should be able to run if need be. And so you need a functional movement training program. If you can't do any of those things, you should be able to get down to the floor and up again without using your hands, ideally. Functional nutrition. So that's making sure that you have the adequate nutrition to actually function in today's world, no matter what life throws at you. Get better from a virus, for instance, get better from a stomach bug, heal yourself when you go wrong, whether it's hormones or whether it's gut problems or whether it's pain. And functional thought, which is basically how to think resiliently so that life can throw you a bender and you function well because you carry on choosing to eat well and move well and think well. So that's why a lot of the year will be spent on mental performance mastery and these 10 pillars of mental performance mastery. And each of those pillars is literally a tool. As one of my heroes, Richard Buckminster Fuller, teaches, if you want to teach people a new way of thinking, don't bother trying to teach them. Instead, give them a tool, the use of which will lead them to new ways of thinking. And this is, in my opinion, the best tool. So whatever's going on, go out and get this. It's a free app at the moment, heroic.us. Yes, it's US, but the owners do want it to be us, heroic.us, because we're all in this together. If you want to improve your energy, productivity, and engagement, in fact, they've shown that within 30 days, you'll be 40% more energized, 20% more productive, 15% more connected. And I am actually a heroic coach. Just like there's the 10 pillars here, there's the 7 objectives in the heroic protocol. And throughout the year, I may be going into more bits about all of those, including the soul force equation, which if you could ever boil life down to a single equation, this may be it. Anyway, today, on with the show. Perimenopause. Perimenopause overview. Now, I think I've got this out of order, which is great. There we go. So perimenopause, menopausal transition equals transition phase of declining reproductive hormones. I have got this out of control, out of order. There you go. So basically, there's the perimenopause is really sort of as your system is starting to decrease all of its hormones. Menopause is actually when you've actually finished menstruating and you haven't had a menstruation for a year. And this slide is just the same as that's. How did I manage to do this? Cut that, that's for sure. Save there. So in the perimenopause, your hormones are beginning to shift, basically. Estrogen, progesterone, DHE, testosterone, cortisol, TSH, which is thyroid stimulating hormone, are all decreasing. But some, and this is the problem, some decrease quicker than others, so the balance between them goes. And so while you can be losing estrogen, you may be losing progesterone faster. And this amazing thing about estrogen is it can literally cover all kinds of different symptoms. Estrogen is like an antidepressant. It's great for the brain. It's great for pain relief. It's got so many super fantastic uses what's the uses? Yeah, effects basically. So literally, estrogen dominance, where you have too much estrogen and not enough progesterone, you can feel fine for a long time until estrogen goes down further. But really, the answer is increasing progesterone. So I'm just putting that in there now. So perimenopause can start as early as 30. You can still become pregnant. Symptoms become more pronounced the closer one gets to menopause, as in everything stopping, basically. And so the transition, sometimes known as menopause transition, can last 3 to 10 years. And the names of the perimenopause, menopause, it's all interchangeable, really, at the end of the day. People know what you mean by I'm going through the menopause, I'm going through the change. But literally, if you still are menstruating, it's the perimenopause. Okay. And so here's a chart with the timing, basically seeing all your hormones, estrogen levels. This is just estrogen level massively declines. And then once it's low enough, you don't have a period. And then after a year, you are actually menopausal. Although in here it says menopause is just after your last period, and then postmenopause. So again, different people actually define what's happening differently. here you go. Before menopause, as in premenopause, estrogen is made by the ovaries. After menopause, the body still makes small amounts of estrogen by converting androgens into estrogen. So androgens are the male hormones like testosterone. Yes, ladies, you create testosterone. Androgens are produced by the adrenal glands. So if you haven't looked after your health very well, your adrenal glands may not be able to produce enough androgens. And so as you go through the menopause, perimenopause, whatever you want to say, is you can't actually convert any testosterone and androgens because you haven't got any. And also, if you haven't got the right enzymes to convert, things don't happen. And aromatase is produced mainly by fatty tissue. So women, you need some fat, but the more fat you have, the more conversion that goes on. Now here is a normal menstrual cycle with all the hormone levels. So look at all those hormone levels and all those different things just happening through their prolactin, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, estrogen. There's all kinds of things going on that actually allow you to be fertile. And then so that's what's happening with hormones. And then this is what's happening between all the organs of your body. Your brain talking to your ovaries are affected by inflammation. There's your liver, your gut, insulin levels affected both ways, thyroid levels, adrenal glands. Basically, it's very complicated. There's a lot of talking going on. And if there's actually a breakdown in any of these little areas, any of these, then things can go wrong. And then menopause, eggs are no longer released. Estrogen and progesterone production slows considerably in the ovaries, no period for 12 consecutive months or 6 connecting months, and elevated follicle stimulating hormone. Typically occurs in late 40s, early 50s. Early menopause occurs before the age of 45. Premature menopause occurs at age 40 or younger. Average age of menopause is 51. There you go. So, perimenopausal signs and symptoms. So I've already gone through this. Changes in your menstrual cycle, vasomotor systems. So that's basically circulatory systems, including night sweats. Then you can have vulval, vaginal symptoms, problems with urination as well, pain as well, with sex. Other symptoms sometimes associated with menopause: sleep disturbances, cognitive concerns, memory, concentration. And that's because estrogen is really important for the production of a chemical called choline. Now, you can get choline from your diet, liver and eggs primarily. If you're a vegetarian, don't worry, there are vegetarian options. But your body makes choline, and it's very important for your liver as well. And so as you lower your estrogen levels, your brain's ability to produce choline and then make choline into something called acetylcholine, which is a thinking molecule, decreases. So it's very important you get adequate levels of choline and the nutrients you need to actually make acetylcholine. So that's why there can be psychological symptoms as well, because of what happens in the brain, but also because estrogen can act like an antidepressant. It's absolutely marvelous, estrogen. Vasomotor system, as I already said, hot flashes. There you go. Sexual health problems as well. If you have particularly sexual health problems, then I'm not the person to come to, although I can give you advice. There are definitely things out there that can help. And there's certainly, if you're in America, there's a lady I really recommend you talk to if you want to really, really improve your sex life. Okay. Perimenopause. So perimenopause can involve things like stress hormones, thyroid health, bone density, mitochondrial energy, so energy production, sleep, blood sugar balances, cardiovascular health, neurological health, liver, gut microbiome, emotional well-being, and sex hormones. So there we go. That's perimenopause in a nutshell. Affects everything. Let's simplify it. What are the underlying causes of these hormone imbalances and health imbalances? Chronic excessive stress, that should really say, liver problems, and excess burden on the liver. Estrogen, okay, there's 14, I think there's 14 different pathways through which the liver handles and gets rid of excess estrogen. And so you think, well, as I go through the menopause, as I have less estrogen, surely the liver is going to be less of a problem. Well, here's the thing. It's a bit more complicated than that. And if your liver is not very healthy, then as your estrogen levels decline, your liver actually works less well, because there's all kinds of amazing things that human bodies do in order to actually help feminize the liver. And as your liver becomes less feminized, as in lack of estrogen, then it doesn't work as well, even though your liver has 14 different pathways to detoxify it, because it can be so much of a problem. Inflammation, yeah, it's complicated, I told you. Inflammation, nutrient insufficiencies, gut dysbiosis, so not the right gut bacteria. Then there's genetics and history of synthetic hormone use. And there's all kinds of things I'm going to uncover as well. And then, because as you saw from the complicated picture, not only is the brain thrown out of balance through estrogen being very important for choline production, if you've got unstable blood sugar as well as less estrogen, so unstable blood sugar, depleted neurotransmitters, so that's nutrient deficiencies or lots of stress, hormone imbalances, toxins, food allergies, intolerances, genetics, mood altering chemicals, impaired digestion. The brain can be thrown out of balance by all sorts of things. And then when you throw your hormones out of balance, especially through the menopause, then it can be even more out of balance. Now, the big balancing act is between estrogen and progesterone. And what happens predominantly, according to a number of experts in the field, is estrogen doesn't decline as swiftly as progesterone. And so progesterone plummets more, which leads to estrogen dominance, which leads to a bigger problem than if both decreased at the same amount. And strangely enough, giving more estrogen can actually cover up the symptoms of a progesterone deficiency. Whereas in some women, it is really important to get the balance absolutely perfect. So now I've mentioned a number of hormone disruption things here. Okay, but what I really want to get into, well, there's genetics is one thing. Okay, and the thing about genetics we'll cover is it can actually be changed by what you do. Okay, there's traumatic emotional events, physical traumas. I think I'm going to cover a little bit about that later, actually. It can actually be something that's physically happened to your neck, your back, your pelvis that can actually be causing your hormones and hormone symptoms to be so bad. Chronic sleep deprivation, aging. Yes, I don't believe so much in the aging process. It's more of a collection of things you haven't healed. Aging twice, that's terrible. Inflammatory diseases, exogenous toxins. Exogenous means toxins that your body isn't making, because your body makes a lot of toxins, which is why you need liver and kidneys to get rid of the toxins and waste products of basically digestion and making energy. Acute physical stress, which comes under the trauma stuff as well. Nutritional insufficiencies, food allergies, intolerance or sensitivities, changes in your gut microbiome, altered biotransformation, which is because what happens is hormones are transformed in your body through different ways, and different hormones are then made into other different hormones. And so this whole process of biotransformation actually depends on all kinds of different chemicals, including your gut microbiome or your liver health as well. And then various drugs that you're given for various reasons also interrupt with hormones. So let's get into the big topic that you may need more help with than you think. Now, I really do. If you think that toxins are not a big problem in the world, just go and look up the Toxic Baby, which I've actually put on my website, thepainreliefcenters.co.uk/estrogen-detox, estrogen spelled the English way, so with an O. So thepainreliefcenters.co.uk/estrogen-detox. Or just go onto YouTube and put in the Toxic Baby TED Talk. And because it's horrific what this particular pesticide that they're talking about does to females, and even worse for males, because in male frogs basically started developing eggs in their testicles when they were given this herbicide or pesticide that is commonly used on a lot of food you eat. Like if you eat bread, if you eat grains, If you're eating grains for breakfast, i.e. cereals, grains for lunch, i.e. a sandwich, and grains for dinner, i.e. pasta, then you could be developing eggs in your testicles too. Well, probably not high enough, but it's, yeah, not good. And since this talk was done, there's literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hormone disrupting chemicals. And this was just published the other day. Forever chemicals may reduce fertility in women by up to 40%. Go to sciencealert.com. And then even recent stuff like the recent vaccines that so many people in the world have taken, actually seems that the safety reports on them weren't done, and they are actually disrupting ovaries, causing all kinds of problems in a lot of women. You can go and find out more by just going onto YouTube and looking up Professor Robert Clancy or Dr. John Campbell, and finding more about, and they're talking about this Australian report back in January 21 that was basically, this is a disaster, a ticking time bomb of stuff, especially for women. But because for men, it's less of a ticking time bomb because it causes so much heart disease, especially in young males. Anyway, if you want to find out more about all the different, or not all the toxins, but a lot more of the toxins, go and see week 8, Envirotoxins and Cardiovascular Disease, because I speak about hormone disruptors there. Yeah, look out for that picture on YouTube, because that tells you what a detox can do for you. It can change a gangrenous foot and body into a cleaner one. There you go. Usually this would be amputated, but most of it was saved. So what can we actually do to reverse? Yeah, imagine if your ovaries and your womb looked like that. You'd probably want to do something about it pretty quickly, but you can't see on the inside. So what we need to do to look after your hormone health is to make sure your body, your brain, your bowels are all working properly, because there's all kinds of physical traumas that can happen. There's mental stress trauma, basically, and there's chemical toxic trauma. And so if you actually build all the 7 strategies that I teach my patients and work with all the time, talk right, drink right, eat right, move right, detox right, sleep right, think right, then you will protect yourself from stress, toxins, and trauma, so you can heal your body, brain, and bowels, and you can get your hormone health back. So basics are reduce and eliminate refined sugars. So anything that's powdered, so wheat, basically, think of that as a refined sugar. Reduce and eliminate alcohol to take stress off your liver. Reduce and eliminate all processed foods, especially processed meats. Try eliminating caffeine as well. In some people, that can be disrupting your hormones. Start pacing out meals and dropping snacks, because snacking keeps on spiking your insulin. And if you remember from my earlier picture, boom, boom, boom. Here you go, insulin down the bottom here. Insulin talks to your ovaries and vice versa. So it's important to get all that working better. Plan your meals and shop in advance. Meal prep, batch cooking. So those are some basic stuff on just getting your life in order. Now, foods that are really, really good, and this goes for detoxification, it's because they're so good for the liver, but there's so many things in all your cruciferous vegetables, so broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, basically fresh greens because it's full of fiber, but also the different colors, the phytonutrients, fresh fruits, berries, melons, citrus, legumes, soy, tofu, soy milk, miso, tempeh, steamed soybeans, garbanzo beans apparently, but careful if you have an autoimmune condition apparently with garbanzo beans. Okay, so having a varied diet, but again, cruciferous vegetables seem to be good for just about everything. Just about, I'm not saying everything, because there are some times you want to actually decrease them. Raw seeds and nuts, flax seeds, because there's something called lignans in them. Whole grains, okay, are preferable, but basically I would say if you've got a health problem, just get rid of wheat for the moment, okay? Get rid of wheat. If you've got a health problem, you haven't tried it, just get rid of wheat, okay? And GF gluten-free, genetically, I should say preferably not genetically modified. Quality protein, hormone-free chicken, because so much of today's chicken is actually stocked full of hormones. So a lot of women today, they're avoiding red meat from beef because we've been told that beef is bad for us, and they're eating a lot more chicken. But the problem is chicken can be absolutely chock full of synthetic hormones, which causes a problem with your liver and the rest of your body and causes all kinds of weird stuff to happen. And so you can actually be better off with beef than chicken in some cases. But again, if the beef is raised locally, it's grass-fed, then that will actually contain omega-3 fats, which you can see are good for you. The problem with most of today's beef is it's fed on grains, which are full of omega-6 fats, which turns meat into a very inflammatory food, red meat into an inflammatory food, whereas red meat, cows that are grass-fed and cared for, will actually be anti-inflammatory and full of goodness. So there we go. Green tea, also really, really good. It's got a number of things in there that are great for hormone health and livers, etc. So now, soya, again, I'm not going to read everything out here, but I'm going to skip through it and you can read this at your own pace on the replay. So soya, particularly because it's fermented soy, seems to be the trick. This is what seems to turn soya beans into something that might not be too good for you overall, to something that's actually good for you. And your bacteria make a difference because of there's this thing called S-equol, which is found in soya. And some people can actually produce or make this because of their bacteria. And soya just helps you make more of this, apparently. So you can read this and you can look this all up. Basically, they found that vegetarians, probably because they had better gut bacteria, were better equol makers, and also having a lot more green tea and soybeans. So that's Japanese diet. There you go. So seaweed helps with this, apparently. You can actually buy seaweed enriched salts and things. I think there's the Cornish Seaweed Company. So again, you can try these by actually adding different foods and varieties to your health. Flax, as I've already mentioned, flax seeds, very, very good. And according to, this was from one of the webinars I actually attended on the perimenopause. I attended a lot of, I've done a lot of training on the perimenopause. And according to them, soy and red clover have been two of the most commonly utilized botanicals. Okay. And while that is true, that's not actually the place I'd start. Okay, so flax and red clover, just remember that if you want to. This is where I would start. Okay, if you have never done anything to help your hormones, and you've got a decent diet, you're just looking back and you just think, you know what, I'm going to clean up my diet, I'm going to get rid of wheat, get rid of junk food, I'm going to try and eat some grass-fed beef, maybe some liver, I'm going to have a much bigger variety of vegetables, especially the green stuff. I'm going to have a lot more cruciferous vegetables. And if you wanted to start with a supplement, I would start probably with a multivitamin, to be honest with you. Start with a multivitamin and then add in either black cohosh, which you can pick up from Holland & Barrett, Agnus castus. I'm sure you can pick up either of these from Holland & Barrett, because I've had a lot of women either tell me about this is what's helped them, or I've actually recommended try this first. Okay, one of the companies I use, the other name for Agnus castus is the Chasteberry, and this product here from Nutridyne, they do a product that's Agnus castus, black cohosh, and also ashwagandha, which is really good for lowering stress and works really well with black cohosh and Agnus castus together. Now you could use that. I mean, that's like 20 quid for 60 capsules, and you could try it once, twice, or even 3 times a day. Or you could just try Agnus castus by itself with a healthy diet, or just black cohosh and see if that's enough. So that's a good diet, getting plenty of sleep, some exercise, making sure you're hydrated. So go and watch my hydration video webinar as well. Yes, that's good diet, good sleep, good hydration, good exercise. Maybe take a multivitamin. It's got a little bit of everything, some vitamins, some minerals, and then try one of these herbs. And so here's a little bit about Chasteberry and how good it is. especially with ashwagandha, because this is taken straight off the Nutridyne website. Another thing that a lot of women have found is something called Myo-Inositol complex. This can especially help if you've got sleep problems. Again, this is just one. This is the company that I would use, but you should be able to find good makes in Finding Brown Good Health food shops. Sulforaphane complex. This is a broccoli extract. So again, you can take it if you really are having problems getting enough good stuff in your diet. You can take it as a nutrient. IC3. This is something else that's also found in cruciferous vegetables, and very good for the liver. These are both also. These are great for men as well, for testosterone hormone levels and things. So again, Nutridyne does both of those. Calcium D-glucarate. This is very important for detoxification and especially for balancing of hormones from a liver perspective. Female balance. So this is actually a mixture of quite a few of the different things, including, I think it's got some sulforaphane, I think it's got some IC3 in it, I think, and some other stuff, and some phytoestrogens and some other bits and pieces in there as well. And then there's also this testosterone balance. So this is a bit of a multivitamin mineral, but it's also got flaxseed lignans, it's got soybean concentrate, it's got things in there that's great for men, but it's also great for women because it also has kudzu root extract in it, which which this wasn't from the testosterone balance website, I don't think. No, it wasn't, because it says it's a testosterone balance. Good soy root may help treat some of the most common menopausal complaints, including hot flashes and night sweats. Because when I saw kudzu in this, I thought, hang on, that's for women, isn't it? But it's great for men as well. So there we go. So there's a range of different things you can try and take. I think I started with the cheapest is just try black Cohosh or Agnus castus, and then red clover. I think you do find in here. But I didn't put all the ingredients on there. I just wanted to show you this. There's lots of different things you can actually try. Okay, but what happens if you've tried all of this? Okay, or you're just lost because you're confused because you've actually seen what I've just shown you and you think, I don't know where to start. Okay, well, where to start really is, I really do say, don't consult me, just try the basics first. But if you really do need support, then reach out to me straight away. But say you've tried the basics and you're just lost, confused, you don't know what to do. Even say, you're even on hormone replacement therapy and that hasn't worked, or you're unsure as to whether you want to try hormone replacement therapy. There's pros and cons for both. And look, if you're stuck, then I think it's worth trying at least for a month, because you can always stop. And it's very unlikely that a month worth of hormone replacement therapy is going to cause you any long-term side effects or problems, just to see if it works and it helps you. So if you're on hormone replacement therapy but you want to come off, or you're having difficulty come off, then it's a sign that you do need help. But anyway, say you don't want to try it, or you've tried it, it's not working, or you want to explore every other avenue to so that you can take as little in the way of hormone replacement therapy as possible, then you need a program. And so this is actually devised by one of the ladies that I follow, PTSD, to improve estrogen metabolism and clearance. So that's not post-traumatic stress disorder. That's production, transport, sensitivity, and detox. All these things have to be looked at. Okay. And one of the ways I like to start to get hormones under balance is to actually detox and get rid of all the things that can actually cause imbalances. And so I use a 21-day reset, pioneered by Dr. Sarah Gottfried. So she's written a book. You can get more details on this. And this is the basics of it. Okay, but you also need to massively increase fiber intake. So it's actually recommended you take some fiber supplements as well as eating really healthily. And according to her, you go 3 days meatless to reset your estrogen. Again, I don't know how true this is, but basically just go completely meatless. I think it's probably because so many meats have fake estrogenic compounds, especially chicken. 3 days sugar-free, 3 days fruit-free, 3 days caffeine-free, 3 days grain-free, 3 days dairy-free, and 3 days general toxin-free as well. So the idea is to basically gently start detoxifying your body, and I think this is a nice, sensible place to start. Plus, by doing just something for 3 days, it gives you a chance to see, well, what one thing might be causing the biggest problem in your system. And again, there is more to each one, certainly getting the right fibers in, because you need to have the right calorie. Well, yeah, basically, you need to lower your carbohydrates, mainly by increasing fiber and decreasing crud and rubbish. And there are also, again, supplements to help through this phase, especially the last 3 days. You can actually do some detox. In fact, I actually get people taking some supplements throughout this to actually gently detox, and then on the last 3 days, you really build it up. Then after you've done this, there's a couple of things. One, there's a cookie cutter approach, and you can use the Advanced Perimenopause program, where a lot of these slides, like here and here, come from, and the one at the beginning. Or you can just try the Perimenopause program. It comes with diet sheets, comes with all sorts of things. You can order it through me, because you'll actually need a practitioner number to order it. But I would actually try, even if you just do this yourself without increasing fiber and just eating healthily, try that first, then go into this. Okay. But if you're still struggling and you really want help, then we can get specific. I can go through your health history, we can look at your past blood tests, or we can get more blood tests done. Even the normal blood tests that don't look at hormones can help me understand what's going wrong with your system by looking at your liver, your kidneys, or whether your white blood cells are showing signs of immune problems. Because unfortunately, medical doctors do not have the training that most of us think that they would have on analysing blood tests, which is why so many people get told that their blood tests are normal and there's nothing wrong. But in actual fact, there is something wrong if you know what to look for and if you've had the training. And there are genetic tests you can do. That's something we might start doing in the next few months here as well. But remember, lifestyle changes how your DNA is expressed within 90 days. So if you're doing all the right lifestyle stuff, the genetic stuff maybe isn't so important, but it might be good to know, or doing the genetic testing may inspire you to, certainly along with blood tests, to do the right things. Because as the PREDICT twin study showed, which I've got 2 patients who've been enrolled in it over the years, is health is only 20% genetic, and most of the rest is to do with your gut bacteria, which all comes back, and your gut bacteria are actually affected by how you're thinking, how you're sleeping, toxins, all sorts of things. So if you do decide you want help and you want to implement a magnificent 7 health plan and get back on the health path, you can expect to not just feel healthier, but reduce body fat, tone up, have more energy, generally feel better about yourself, more confidence, hopefully sleep better, provide a bulletproof mindset, because I really like to take people through something that really changes their behavior. So I like to actually coach people for an hour on a weekly basis for 12 weeks. So what I do isn't just a nutrition program, it's actually let's change how you think program, so that you actually start making better choices. Yeah, so there you go. You have 2 choices. You can either go it alone, and I would say if you've not done anything, you really should just try improving your diet, getting rid of crud and rubbish, and try Agnus castus or black cohosh just for a month or so and see if you feel a lot better. And if you do, fantastic. But if you've tried everything already and you're getting nowhere, then just go straight to calling me, because it's okay to ask for help to get back onto the path to healthy hormones. So what to do next? Basically make contact, either reply to my emails, or regular emails that I send out if you've got the email to this, or call Body Imbalance, that's the clinic here in Brookmans Park, on 01707 662 704. So there we have it. And I'll get to questions once I've finished here. So next week, well, so it's now March, so next month is April, yeah, which apparently is Stress Awareness Month. So I'm going to probably be jumping to one of the pillars in Mental Performance Mastery Elite Mindset, or I might do the Soul Force equation, talk more about heroic. Haven't decided which one I'm going to do yet. And as ever, if you want more information about me, you can go to bodyimbalanceuk.com or beatbloodpressure.com. I used to have a hormone website as well, but I tried to simplify my life. So Body Imbalance or beatbloodpressure.com. Okay, as ever, be well. I'm going to stop recording now and then we can get to any questions. But as for now, for everyone else watching the replays, live long and prosper. So let's stop the recording. Stop recording.